genuinely do believe that it's going to be I think it's going to be a bit. I do believe Tyson will win the fight. Of course, I'd say that because I'm in his corner, but I do believe he'll.
He knows he can hurt him now. So he's going to come and try and hurt him. You will not, as he keeps saying, you won't leave him alone. I would love Tyson to win, but right now, those odds are not looking good.
Usyk here, but you just, you ultimately, at some point, you end up losing it. That happened to Tyson in the first fight. I'm willing to bet that this focus that we're seeing from him now is a focus that he didn't.
I generally do believe that I think it's going to be AIT. I do believe Tyson will win the fight. Of course I'd say that because I'm in his corner, but I do believe he'll win the fight. He knows he can hurt him now, so he's going to come and try and hurt him. You will not, as he keeps saying, you won't leave him alone. I would love Tyson to win, but right now those odds are not looking great. Who SEC you ultimately. At some point you end up losing it. That happened in the first fight. I'm willing to bet that this focus that we're seeing from him now is a focus that he didn't have in the first. Boxing experts are sharing their predictions for the highly anticipated rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. The two heavyweights delivered an unforgettable showdown earlier this year, with Usyk narrowly winning by split decision. This time Fury is set to fight for the unified WBC, WBO, and WBA world titles, while Usyk had to vacate the IBF belt ahead of the bout. A victory over Usyk in December would be a career-defining moment for Fury, solidifying his legacy alongside iconic achievements like his first world title win against Vladimir Klitschko and his epic trilogy with Deontay Wilder. Promoter Frank Warren shared his thoughts on the fight during an interview with Skyports. All the doubters, all the journalists were saying Usyk is now up there with all the legends of the sport. The Muhammad Alis, the Frasers, the Foremans. One of the greatest of his generation is Joel Louis, and I'm pleased they've said that, because when Tyson beats him, no one can debate the fact that he's beaten the best of his generation, which will make him the best of his generation despite the fact that Usyk was able to severely shake him during the first round. Fury is unconcerned about that punch. If he chucks that punch he hit me with maybe 100 times would not have done any damage. But that one time it did. He told Sky Sports the first bout was evenly matched and Fury thinks he can win the rematch with a small adjustment. He said, I don't think I can be any better than what I was, because I think it was probably one of the best performances that I've ever done in my life. Although it didn't get the result, I thought it was a very fantastic performance against one of my best opponents. He added, Tex 5, can I be any better? Can I do any better? I can be more focused and less clowning. And I think that's enough. It's clear that Fury refuses to be anyone's second choice. This battle feels deeply personal for Tyson Fury. No matter how he tries to spin it, for the first time he's up against someone he can't bully, someone who isn't giving him an inch. Fury now understands that everything hinges on his full arsenal, his skills, experience, and the remaining fight within him. It has to be enough, because if it's not, it's evident this bout may and even quicker than the last one. Usyk now has a better gauge of him after tasting his strength, speed, and pace. Think back to what happened with Anthony Joshua attempted the same strategy as Fury, trying to outbox and out Usyk in their second encounter. Despite AJ delivering a strong performance, Usyk was even more impressive. His approach was far more calculated. Expect the same outcome here. Having sized up Tyson Fury, he understands that Fury will likely try to overpower him using his strength, size, and physicality. Exactly what he should have done from the start, and exactly what he must do now. Tyson must ensure that alongside his boxing skills he applies immediate pressure from the start. The longer the fight drags on, the greater the risk of him losing the ability to sustain that relentless pace and physical intensity against Usyk. On the other hand, Yi's approach in the first fight was clear. He promised not to give Tyson any respite, forcing him to earn every moment, and that's exactly what he did. Usyk is fully aware that he now possesses the ability to hurt Fury. He knows he has the power, speed, and strategy to outmatch Fury, something Fury recognizes as well. This creates a real dilemma for Fury, as he has never found himself in this position before as a professional fighter. Former professional boxer and boxing expert Johnny Nelson said, I initially believed Fury's sharpness, intelligence, and size would be too much for Usyk in their first fight. However, Fury ended up overthinking things. Usyk stayed relentless, keeping him on edge and forcing him to fight from both the back foot and the front. Fury was attempting to Outsmart and outbox him while also wanting to look nice. Being smart means outsmarting yourself, but you can also be too smart. However, Usyk kept him on the defensive by being dependable and relentless. Johnny Nelson added he landed a few solid shots on Usyk and had him hurt, but Usyk refused to back down. He pressed forward, determined to challenge Tyson's resolve, thinking I need to test his heart. At that moment Tyson realized the fight had shifted when he felt the sting of Yi's left hand and was momentarily rocked. He knew Usyk had found his opening. Usyk is a skilled finisher and he was relentlessly attacking Fury. The referee, however, gave Fury an undeserved break, as he should have allowed the fight to continue, either stopping it when necessary or letting Fury go down for a count. This is a battle of skill against skill, with the finest going head to head. Both fighters are exceptionally talented and accomplished, but in the end one strategy simply outshone the others. Nelson mentioned Tyson. Fury grew overconfident, believing no one could challenge him. It's this very mindset that often leads to the downfall of many champions and fighters. At the summit of the tree you can't be comfortable. Meanwhile, Ben Shalom is optimistic that Tyson Fury will even the score with Oleksandr Usyk when the heavyweight foes meet for their highly anticipated rematch. Fury triggered the rematch clause without hesitation, setting the stage for another showdown between the two fighters. Now Shalom, the head honcho at Boxer, has shared his thoughts on the upcoming battle. Shalom said, I always back Tyson for the first fight and I always like him to win as a Brit, but I can't see a way past Oleksandr Usyk. He's proven it time and time again, and I don't even think it was the best version of Usyk that beat Tyson the first time around. I actually do expect him to win this rematch. I think he's bigger than Usyk, and that size advantage that he has, he, unlike most fighters, knows how to use that size, that reach, that speed. I think the whole fight will play out the way that the first fight's first half played itself out. I think the whole fight's gonna go that way. A very focused and determined Fury is a quiet and relentless. I think they'll both be better this time, but I have to go with Usyk given the history. As much as I'd like Tyson to win, former world champion Sean Porter in an interview with Pro Box TV is supporting Fury to turn the tide this time and win the title as a single champion. Porter expressed his belief that he expected Fury to win the rematch, citing Fury's size advantage over Usyk. He remarked that Fury, unlike most fighters, knew how to effectively use his size, reach and speed. Porter predicted that the fight would unfold similarly to the first half of their initial bout, emphasizing that a focused and determined Fury was both quiet and relentless. He has so many things in his arsenal that makes him, for the sake of words, the dominator in this fight. He just has to dominate. Went on to commend the British player's many talents, saying he thinks it would be evident that evening. Porter added that Fury possessed a wide array of tools in his arsenal, making him the dominant force in the fight. He emphasized that Fury needed to take control of the bout and could not afford to be caught off guard. I do think that Fury will have to make some adjustments, and a piece of me thinks that it could be in the form of the way he made the adjustment against Wilder, where from the first to the second fight he went from a boxer on the back foot to a physical guy on the front foot because he was so much bigger. I'm curious to see how that will play out against Usyk. I will say this though, Usyk is not going to go as quietly as Fury has demonstrated his ability to dominate rematches, especially considering the outcome of his trilogy with Deontay Wilder. Sean Porter expresses confidence that a more focused and determined Tyson Fury, currently preparing in Malta, will claim victory in this showdown. Porter said, with so many weapons Fury dominates this fight. He has to dominate this fight and he can't afford to let himself get caught off guard. Discussing the fight on Pro Box TV's Top Story show, Paulie called it a must-win situation for the 36-year-old Fury. Can he physically do what he needs to do at his age? Fury has a history of showing us he can surprise us with the different things that he does. No one really expected him to do what he did in the Klitschko fight. He added no one expected him to come back in the Wilder rematch and fight the way he did after the first fight. A lot of people thought he won that boxing the way he did, so nobody expected him to be the one to have to come up with some changes to his style, and he did, and he dominated the second fight. And then they had an epic third fight. Malik Nagy, in contrast, praised the robotic accuracy of the Ukrainian fighter. He noted that while he expects the upcoming bout to unfold differently from their previous exciting encounter, he is none less confident in Yi's eventual triumph. Conversely, Chris Algieri said that Usyk is a nightmare who was tough to get over mentally. Algieri added, I think this is Fury's fight to lose. We saw how dominant he was in the beginning and middle rounds of that last fight, and yeah, he made a mistake, he got cracked, he got hurt, and if he probably hadn't been hurt And in that situation he probably would have won that fight pretty handily. He further added, ultimately if you ask me, right.